Okay, good. Shall we go? Oh, last class we started to talk about the history of the management. History of the management. And yeah, we learned about it, somebody invented the scientific management. And what was his name? Bradley Winslow Taylor. Okay, how he invented the scientific management, 거시의 관리. 거시. Oh, what is science? What is science? Eddie, what is science? How he invented the scientific management? Science. He used what? How he invented the modern scientific management. That's the start of the modern management. Actually, before that, before having this kind of approach, okay, we didn't have the modern management. Okay? However, Bradley Winslow Taylor used a tool, and he converted something to something, and then he managed that. What is that? How he invented the modern management, scientific management. What is science? Science? What is science? Science is power? No. Science is a tool. Okay, so especially that tool use a certain specific something, specific one. So what is science? Science is numbers. Okay, number. Okay, number. Make it simple. Make it simple. Science is number. Simply, Bradley Winslow Taylor convert all activities and endeavors of the something into the quantitative data. Qualitative data to quantitative data. Once we convert qualitative data into the quantitative data, numbers, what can we do? We can calculate. Okay? We can do something. We can do that. Then we can control over that number. Okay? Simple. Idea was quite simple. We convert all our business activities and all our doing of something into the number. How? Measure. How to measure? Stopwatch. 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds. Simply, Taylor, just to measure, convert all endeavors into the number second. Then he control over that number. Sure. Then how we can improve the productivity? Just control the number. If somebody do not work well, just buy and replace or do something improve. That's how our modern management, especially scientific management, was started. Then, is it okay? Absolutely. So we make a lot of money. Business guys, capitalists, and business owners, we can make a lot of money because we can dramatically improve our productivity. However, what happens? Charlie Chaplin was happy in working. Do you want to work like that? Do you want to work like that numbers? Do you want to work like that machine? Do you want to work like that worker at Charlie Chaplin? And somebody comes and then you are nothing but you are just number. If you do not work, okay, get out. Are you happy? No, unhappy. So then, if people are totally marginalized, and that is, we call that is oppression. Okay? What can we do? If somebody comes and treat you like the numbers, we need to fight. That happened. And against to the dehumanization. Dehumanization is because everything, our mind, everything is to convert it to the number. And then somebody just treat me like a number. And then I am not human. Why? This is the problem of the human, right? This is the problem of the human dignity. This is the problem of our human being. So that we made a revolution. 1917, many socialistic revolution. We made that kinds of the fighting. Absolutely. Then we fundamentally challenge that kinds of the new scientific management. What drives that the revolution, socialistic revolution, something? Especially scientific management. Not, I don't want to say that the capitalism make that kind of a fixed formula. I definitely can say oppression by that kind of a scientific management drove us to fight, to make our progress. Absolutely, we have a right, we must do it. That's the reason why we have a few number of the revolutionary history. Good. Then, can we make it better? We need a solution. Okay, so then, you remember we have two different paradigms, theory X and theory Y. What is theory X? Human is good. Human is bad. We are lazy. We don't want to work. Amelia. Amelia. Do you want to work without any control? No? So you believe human is lazy by nature, right? Okay. So if someone do not work, what do you want? What can you do to make people work? Torture! Absolutely. That is the scientific management. Right? Oh, absolutely. If I convert everything to the, and then if you do not achieve that goal, I will punish all again. That's a theory X. So because you believe you don't want to work. Yes. No, absolutely. So then control. Because we believe human by nature, human is bad. Really? Human is bad. So if nobody talks about you need to study, you do nothing. For example, are you playing some instrument? Piano, violin, or something? Oh, okay. So why do you want to endure that? Do you want to work? Do you want to work? For fun. Okay, absolutely, for fun. That's a work. For fun is a work. Okay, so then, even though nobody controls over you, you do something nice. Oh, okay, so the human is good by nature. Even though nobody talks, nobody controls us, we work. We work. It's fun. By nature, we are good. We want to work more, and we want to show the best performance. So we want to do something better. Theory? Why? Or motivation. So then, if I want to motivate people to work, so what should I do? Okay, so I want to make you work for fun, for piano. Okay, so if I could, no, if I want to motivate work, there too. Hey, nice. Okay, good job. You are, wow. So you want to work. Absolutely. Okay, that's who motivates. Okay, we have double-edged sword. This theory one. believing in human is good, human wants to work more, human is by nature, human can work better if we treat the people like that is emerged from a Harvard business professor, Elton Bio, and his colleagues. They found out if we treat the employees better, nice, good. We want to supply the more healthcare. We want to be a family. When we treat our people better, when we treat our humans as a human being, they work better, and we can make more money. Well, theory X, theory Y. We call contrasting to the scientific management. We developed humanistic management. And that is becoming a field of organizational behavior, human resource management. By nature, organizational behavior or the human resource management, we believe in people is good. That is a management. Control is one thing. Motivation is another. It depends. Sometimes we must use control to make people work. Sometimes we need to make people motivate. We are managers. Sometimes we need to be angel. Sometimes we need to be devil. Why not? What is the purpose of business? What is the purpose of business? No, we are purpose of business. We want to make money. If I can make money, I sometimes I torture you. If I want to sometimes I need to. Our managers, as a business problem observer, we need to have a good understanding about how to solve our business problems. Well, control people or motivating people. This is a problem of motivation or the managing people side. Whatever. Okay, good. That is a fundamental two paradigms in business and management. There is no good and bad. There is no good and bad. Okay? Because that's our tool. That's our tool. Okay, so then, for a while, everything looks okay. And some of the good managers, they encourage people, they motivate people to make more money. And many of the managers, simply, they just control over the people and then they couldn't make money. However, something was happened in the 1980s and the 1990s. So, we went to a short history. During the World War II, US, China, Soviet, and the Allies, we know were Germans, Japanese, Italians. However, in the 1970s and 80s, those three losers at the World War II, they came back to the international global business. What happened? They win over the winners. Do you want to buy the BMW or do you want to buy Ford? Do you want to buy the Benz or do you want to buy the Mustang? Do you want to buy Lamborghini or do you want Ferrari or do you want to buy the BYD? What do you want? Do you want to buy the Japanese TV or the American TV? That happened in the business world. And many American scholars, like this guy, Michael Porter. Maybe you are familiar with this name, Michael Porter. Have you ever heard about it? Michael Porter. Oh, Michael Porter is. You will know about it because Michael Porter is our father of the strategy management. He's our father of strategy management. Okay, good. So Michael Porter, Harvard business professor. Michael Porter was totally unhappy. So we are beaten. We are losing our global market. We are losing our global business to Germans, Japanese. What? And many of the American business in the 1980s, they totally crashed. You may have no idea about what was the environment, what was the mood, and what was the situation at the 1980s, middle of the 1980s and 90s. Dominate the US market. Germans dominate the US market. And many of the American companies were totally bankrupt because of the Japanese companies and the German companies and the economy. Really. So there was a risk. American business was at the risk. So then, American scholar, management and business scholar, want to find a way. I want to win over those bad guys. Okay. So then, how we can win over that competitors, my enemies? So that he wanted to get some idea. And he knows once US wins over the bad guys, Germans, Japanese, during World War II, so that he consulted to the army leaders. Hey, soldiers, hey, generals, how we win over Japanese and the Germans during the World War II? This answer, okay, generals, look. How we win over the bad guys during the World War II? How do we win? Then a few number of the leaders, army leaders in the US, they shared a very small simple. Hey, you stupid moron, business, you money bar, shut up and read this. We use this. Win over our competitor, to win over our enemy. Small The book name is Art of War. Art of War. Do you know this book? Do you know this book? Nico, do you know that book? Oh, okay. You must know this book. You read many times. Oh, did you read this book? Yeah, Nico, do you know that book? Okay. Oh, that's the same. The full name of this, how can I pronounce this? Sonjubimba. Okay, thank you. Sonjubimba, the full name in English is the Art of War. Art of War. Art of War. How to win over enemy. Okay. And what is the essence of this book? Okay. So what is the purpose of this book? Why we must read this book? Why he wrote this book? Why he wrote this book? To describe how to allocate our resources? Oh, he was not an economist. No, purpose was simple and clear. Huh? What is the purpose of this book? Michael Porter. What? What is the purpose of this book? Purpose. In order to, in the world, I want to. Do you want to die? Do you want to survive? Do you want to win? Okay, absolutely. Okay. Oh, nobody wants to be losing, or nobody wants to die. We want to win over the world. Win. I want to win over the world. Why, if you lose your world, what will happen? Bad things will be happening. Bad consequences will be happening. You will lose your life. You will lose your money. You will lose your family. You will lose your everything. That's not happening. Or okay. So then, if I have to choose, do you want to choose win or do you want to use? Do you want to choose lose? Oh, absolutely. I want to win. I want to win over my enemies. Okay? Good. Win. I want to win. Michael Porter wants to learn about how to win over the Japanese and the Germans again. And American military leaders share the wisdom, the knowledge, wisdom of the how to win by using this book. And then those way of how to win, we call that is strategy, military strategy. Actually, the strategy terminology of the strategy comes from the military operation, military, okay? And strategy in Chinese, that is 전략. Yeah. What is this? Fighting, okay? No. Winning, right here. Fighting, that is strategy. That is strategy. Okay. So Michael Porter studied about this. How the allies, US, China, Soviet, apply that book's concept to win over Germans, Japanese, and those bad guys. They want to replicate that again to win over business world. Do you think that business is just a game? I'm sorry, business is war. If you lose your business, you will lose your money. If you lose your money, what will happen in this society? I'm sorry, however, we are really conducting a war. Business is war. In order to win over the world, we must use this strategy. That comes from Michael Porter. Read this book carefully, and he tried to apply these concepts into things. That is becoming the strategy management. That's the reason why we call about this as strategic management. Strategy. We use a strategy to make a business, to win over my competitors. Got it? That's happened in the 1980s and the 1990s. Especially strategists. Okay, good. Michael Porter. Good. And there is a father of the Ansel, Anderson, Bruce, and the whatever. Michael Porter. He's a professor of the Harvard Business, and he's still doing something at the Harvard Business. Nice. Okay, so then, however, let's think about what is the essence of this art of work. What is the essence of the Sun Tzu Bing-Bong? Nicole, did you read this? What did you learn from this book? That's a very small, simple book. What did you learn from the Sun Tzu Bing-Bong? How to win over our competitor? Run. Run. Run is best. Our absolute that is very nice. What is the essence of the art of work? What can we learn from that? What is the essence? How to win? Did you read that book? Do you know that book? You know that book? Did you read it? Okay, so any idea? No idea? Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, good. He started with a purpose of the work. What is the purpose of work? Generally, what is the purpose of work? Win. However, why we strategies? Why we love this book? We have tons of thousands of strategy books. Clouded War and the Machiavelli's Priest. We have tons of thousand strategy books to win. Why? Those allies, why those generals, why winners during the World War II, and why the Mao? He loved this book. Why we love this book? Because they give us a totally different paradigm. That give us a totally different wisdom. That wisdom is, what is the purpose of the win? What is the purpose of the war? What is the purpose of the strategy? Win. However, why that book is totally different from another strategy books? Because the purpose of the war is totally different. Every strategy, we want to win. However, Sun Tzu Bing-Bong, the art of war, tells us we must win without fighting. The purpose of the strategy of art of war is totally different from another strategy book. While another strategy books focus on just winning, with fightings, with compensating, with investing a lot of resources. But that book, The Art of War, give us a totally different paradigm. Please win without fighting. Why we should avoid fighting? Because when we start shooting each other, what happens? We lose two things. Absolutely, we lose money. Don't you think so? We totally lose our money. Okay, and we lose our people. If you open the fire, we kill somebody. Inevitable. If we fight, we lose our money, we lose our people. Okay. Losing money, okay. I can recover. Probably this time, however, I can recover. Someday. Oh, absolutely. We can be ahead of it. However, once we lose our people, can we become like that? The dead soldiers can become back? No. That's not happening. All around the world, if we have a war, we lose our money. Okay. Or we lose our money. Probably those people can be the artists, like the Picasso. Those young soldiers can be the greatest scholar, like Einstein. Those scholars can be the greatest leader, like Martin Luther King. Maybe they could be an engineer, could invent a very remarkable something, Elon Musk, but they are dying for nothing. So fighting, not good. That book proposed a very simple idea. Please win over enemies and competitors without fighting. Oh, absolutely. That's fantastic. Good. Then, how to win without fighting? That was the question. Oh, absolutely. And do you know that the Sun Tzu, where he wrote this book? Where did he wrote this book? Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu. Is there anybody who come from the Shandong? Nobody? I don't know. Okay. Shandong. Okay. So yeah, he come from China. Okay. Yeah, Sun Tzu. Okay. Yeah, he was born and he was raised in the China, Shandong. And however, suddenly, yeah, when he hired by this okay. Who come from the Hangzhou, Ningbo, Shanghai, Anhui, okay, so that's here. And they fight against with Chuna. They fight each other. Do you know this history? Hangzhou, Ningbo, Shanghai. Yeah. 오나라. And Sun Tzu, yeah, he was hired by the general from here. He was born and he was raised and he was educated and he was hired by the general strategist by this country. And at the time, this is a big war. And small time, they conquer. And they hired this guy to win over them. That was the situation of the war. Then gradually this win over the Where's the city of the panda? Sichuan, and Chongqing, large country conquered to here. Ningbo, Hangzhou, Shanghai. And he fight more than 30 years as a general. Okay, and he summarized these histories and he summarized his ideas how to win over. And then that is becoming the book. So that book actually that book was written in the Hangzhou area, Hangzhou, Ningbo, and there. Okay. So probably you have a direct descendant of some. I'm not. Anyway, here he observed, he exercised a lot of different strategies, and he conceptualized purpose of the war must be win without fighting, and he proposed 5 elements to win without fighting. 5 elements. He proposed that the 5 elements to win without fighting. If we have these 5 elements, we may win without fighting. Okay. Noah, can you help me? He proposed 5 elements of this. Can you read this? Give me a second. It's complex. Now this better. Okay. So can you read it again? Exactly. And he proposed these 5 elements to win without fighting. Win without fighting. Okay. And these 5 elements are here: moral influence, Tao. Okay. So principle, discipline, and morality. Okay. Why Russian soldiers are not good at fighting now? Because there is little legitimation. They just send, Putin just send those soldiers to Ukraine for nothing. And Russia needs to fight against Ukraine. Why? No reason. Okay? There is no morale. There is no purpose. There is a weak something. That is the reason why Russia is not dominating now. There is no moral influence. Okay? Again, whether interaction of the natural forces or the effect of the winter or cold and the summer heat, why the Russians are not good at fighting now? Because okay, so this is spring now, and that Ukraine is totally getting money. The terrain, the weather is not good. Waves, muddy, the ground is totally bad now. This is not a good season to fight. Yeah, terrain, distance, shape of the ground, these are the different movement. No surprise. Because of the terrain is totally bad. Okay. Or resources. And command or general or the leadership. The generous quality of the wisdom, sincerity, humanity, courage, and the strictness. Do you want to die for the Putin? And okay, so doctrine or the rule. Okay, organization, total alignment, regulation of the supply valve. Okay, so there is no supply for the gasoline, there is no order, there is no operation. So around more than 2,000 years ago, a wise man at Hangzhou area, Ningbo, he proposed these 5 elements to win without fighting. And he conceptualized these 5 elements as Michael Porter conceptualized this 5-element as competitive advantage. Michael Porter. Aha! We have to win without fighting in order to win our competitors, business competitors. How I can win over the Sony, Canon, BMW, Benz? How to win without fighting? Aha! We need to have this 5 elements. We should have the goal, clear goal, vision, mission, value. We should be able to use the natural resources and the situation. We should be able to use our supplies, and we must be able to use our terrains and the ground rules. We must be able to have a good leadership. Absolutely, we must have a good operational rules, norms. Absolutely. That is conceptualized as competitive advantage. And in Asian world, we call that is 경쟁력. 경쟁력. Noah, can you help me again? Okay. What is this? What is this in English? Competitive. Oh, exactly. That's the power of the competition. No? Yeah, that's in training. Okay, so 2,000 years ago, some just proposed this as a Michael Porter conceptualized that as a competitive advantage, and we translate that language into our word and think. So competitive advantage. So that is the start of the strategic management. That is the start of the strategic management. Strategy management is nothing but we want to create competitive advantage in order to win over our competitors. That is the start of strategy management. Competitive strategy. Competitive advantage. In order to secure the competitive advantage, Michael Porter proposed many tools, like 5 forces, value chains, supply chain, and the competitive advantage analysis, economic value analysis, and starting with inspired this kind of the simple idea. We want to win over the enemies without fighting. In order to win without fighting, we must have competitive advantage in those 5 competitive factors. Morality, moral influence, goals, mission, value, okay, and the natural resources, external environment, internal competitive advantage, or using the situation. Do we have a good leadership profile? Do we have a good leadership who can do this kind of things? Do we have a role? This becomes competitive. And we are mainly learning about competitive advantage making, and that is a strategy. In order to win over our enemy without fighting, I can bring tons of 7 different elements. That is a strategy management. Oh, absolutely. Good. Nice. Nice. That's the start of that's the history of the strategy management. Actually, that strategy management is highly related with you. You come from here. 오나라. 오나라 is okay. 항조, 민고, 왼조. And yeah, this 저장 area, 저장 안구의 향하는 때, this area. Absolutely. You are the direct descendant of the strategist. Okay, so competitive advantage for strategic management. So then, from the 1980s and 90s, US applied this new concept of the management, strategy management, and that's the start of the business consulting, business strategy consulting. McKinsey, Boston Consulting, A.T. Kearney, KPMG, not KPMG. Okay, and many of the business consulting startups and many business consulting, strategy consulting companies boom. Absolutely, and they helped. They helped a lot of the companies to revive and then win over the needs. Sure. So now, US economies, businesses, they come back and they are now starting booming. Microsoft, Google. Many of the new economy, many of the new business comes in 1990s. How? Strategy. We use our brain to revive our business. Oh, many new startups, Silicon Valley. That's a totally new game. Silicon Valley was totally inspired in 1980s and 90s. US totally changed their strategy. They outsourced almost all the unnecessary and costly operation, and they just focus on the strategic advantages. They focus on what they can do better. They recruit almost all the best of the best talent around the world. From China, from India, from almost everywhere, they recruit the best of the best talent to Silicon Valley, and they produce at a totally different level of the production. However, that is produced in the US. No, that is produced outside of the US. They just focus on the R&D design and their. That's how to win over the enemies. The ideas. Nice. However, things are getting more complicated in the 1990s and the 2000s, okay, new millennia. We get a better tool. We got a computer on our hands, thanks to those new businesses, Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, Internet. We got more technology, and the technology has become the most important factor in making money. So, management by technology in global economy, globalization, Turkey, globalization, and yeah, anybody talks about it. The three different waves of the globalization. However, most recent globalization, fundamental globalization was started in 1989. What happened in 1989? What happened? Oh. Or the war was over. No Cold War. Okay. Before the 1989, okay. So there is two different values. Okay, and they do not compete. They do not communicate with each other. However, in 1989, Berlin Wall collapsed. Berlin Wall in the German. Yeah. Communist country, I don't care. Capitalist, I don't care. Okay. And McDonald's opened their stores in Moscow, and McDonald's first come to the Beijing, and then many Chinese come to the US, and then many Soviet Russians, and many, very many travel all around the world. That's the start of the globalization. Oh, absolutely. So that was happened 1989. So before the 1989, I ever heard about the China. But however, I had no idea about the China before the 1989 because I never saw the news. I never saw that information. I never get that kinds of things before 1989. In my brain, there was no Soviet, there was no China, there was no same. Your father and your mother, they had no idea about before the 19. There was no Korea, there was no Japan, there was no US. Before the 19, we didn't know each other. Absolutely no. However, suddenly something was happened. 1989, every mobilized, every war, we can travel everywhere, and we can make business. Thanks to the technology, especially for the internet, and thanks to that kind of the globalization, from that time, from 1989, every business is getting connected all around the world. Wow! That was totally, fundamentally changed. Because in my brain, there was nothing. I can go to China, I can go to Germany, I can go to Russia, I can go to India, I can go to... still, I cannot go to North Korea because I'm Korean. Yeah. You can go to North Korea. Yeah, please let me know. Okay. So still, only one country I cannot go. However, except another Cuba. I cannot go to Cuba. I can go there, but I need a special permission from my government. Whatever. So yeah, now you can go almost everywhere. How before 1989? We just go to just one. Something was happened. I started using the internet in 1992 because I was an engineer. I could access to the internet in 1999. I started to use the internet in 1992, and then I tried to penetrate the CIA. So that fundamentally changed our concept. That fundamentally changed our concept. And then things are going on, and now we cannot imagine we are blocked and we are restricted. No. Technology and globalization fundamentally gave us a better business opportunity. I think so. Nice. And things are getting more complicated like this. So that now we are heading to the another level of the deepening technology and the deepening something. Artificial intelligence and especially the talent development is getting more important. So this is a short summary of the paradigm changes in business and management. Started with the science, number, okay? However, that make the trouble of the dehumanization. We treat the people like numbers. Then we revolutionize, we fight. Treat the people there and to make more money. Makes sense? And yeah, there is something. Quality knowledge management, and because why Germans and Japanese are very good at making business in 1970s and 90s? Because they were good at the quality management and the knowledge. Why people want to buy the Benz, BMW? Because the quality, best quality. Why they are good at quality? You learn about that. Quality management, operations management. Why Germans and Japanese are good at quality management? Actually, that quality management, the knowledge management idea come from the American business, American management, scientific management. Actually, scientific management developed the new techniques to make a better quality product something by using the statistics, business statistics. Quality management is nothing but however the business statistics. Okay, apply that statistics, mathematics to manage quality. And Germans, Japanese accept that, while Americans abandon that. Even though that is an American product about scientific management, however, the Germans and Japanese learn that and apply that, and they win over the US in the 1970s, 80s, 90s. Okay, and the strategy comes. Michael Porter conceptualized comparative advantage from the part of war. In order to win without fighting, he proposed we'd better to create and sustain competitive advantage. That competitive advantage is nothing but 5 elements. Nicole, can you help me again? Nicole, no. Noah, can you help me again? 5 elements? Okay. That is 5 elements. 5 competitive advantage. If we have those 5 elements, we can win without fighting. Oh, easy to have this. And then I want to ask, do you have enough of this kind of weapon to win over your enemy without fighting? Listen, don't worry. That's the reason we are learning that kinds of things from these tools, strategy tools. We are learning about those tools. Okay, good. And technology comes. And the technology and the globalization is totally fundamentally changed our business environment. They gave us a more opportunity. I think that's opportunity. Absolutely, there must be a risk. Whatever. And now we are heading to the artificial intelligence. We are heading to the quantum mechanics, and now we have COVID-19 situation and health security is getting more important. Now we have war. Inflation is going up, gas price is going up, everything is going up, and many people keep their job. We define this current era as the Great Resignation. Maybe you've heard about the Great Depression, 1930s. The Great Depression. Economy. The Great Depression inspired the Second World War II. You know. At that, do you know the Great Depression in 1939, 40 something? Great Depression in New York City. Stock price. Oh, okay. So then that happened. Now we have this. This is the biggest challenge now. People do not come back to their work. Supply chains. Oh, absolutely, we need a truck driver, but they do not come back. We need more delivery. We need more production. We need more teachers. We need more people to work, but they do not come back. Why? Because they want to leave. They don't want to die. COVID-19. If you work and die, do you want to work? And fundamentally, now people's perception is now changing. Yeah. There is a time. Do nothing. Yeah, lie down and do nothing. Humping. Oh, humping. Oh, is it good? Is it bad? No, that's not bad. That's not good. Okay, that's just a happy. That's just a, that's their people's choice. Or we have. Then, as a business, okay, we must have a question. How we can get those people to come back? Because I want to make more money. How we can win over the company? Any idea? Give them money. They will be happy to have more money. Can you give them enough money? Who needs to solve the problem? Business, I think. Because we need more of those kind of people. We need the people power. We need the human resources. 도착! You have to work out. 도착! No, that doesn't work. This is our short history of the business and management. And we are heading to the different level. Company great regulation pandemic as security. Oh, that is our profit. That is our profit. Problem solving. Okay, good. So, in order to win over enemies, we have a long histories of the strategy. Okay. Yeah, more than 3,000 years ago, okay, Moses used hierarchical delegation of authority during the Exodus from the Egypt. Oh, more than 3,000 years ago. Absolutely. If there is a war, there must be an idea, there must be a brain, how to win. Okay, and such as art of war, that's more than 2,000 years ago. 2,500 years ago. 2,500 years ago. In here, Ningbo, Hangzhou, Shanghai, Fuzhou. That happened. Sometimes I'm very curious. We are getting progressing, but we are getting smarter. We are getting more. Anyway, yeah, to win without fighting. To win without fighting, okay? And the Romans, they deployed the classic strategic deployment from where the Greek something, okay? And then the King Arthur rules Britain. Mongolians dominate, and the Machiavelli's prince. Don't make people underestimate your value. Brutal, be brutal as a prince. And the American Revolutionary something, and Jane Adams and the Washington beat over the British companies in the Washington area. Napoleon was defeated at the Waterloo, and he was totally crashed at the Leipzig area. Why? Because why? Napoleon was not good at war. The secret of the Napoleon. Because he was stupid? No, because he was a thief. Why he? Because he has a small brain. Oh, really? Because of his health problem, he could not focus on the building of the good strategies. He could simple. Really, this is history. If he was healthy, he could win. Because he was not healthy, he made a few number of mistakes. This is a failure of this leadership. He was smart, he healthy. Or when he was not healthy, when he was sick, we must consider the leaders' judgment, leaders' oh, okay. American Civil War. Oh, okay. So who win over the American Civil War? North or South? North. Over. That war is yeah. That's the war is not over. Anyway, so this is a short history of the business strategy. Okay, for the T, scientific management, Hereford. Okay, Commonwealth system. Okay, Freddie Winslow Taylor published as the principles of the scientific management, scientific numbers. Okay, and then blah 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 blah. Art of war, and now we are going to something, and the world becomes the largest company in the world. Now, 2020, what is the largest number? What is the largest company in the world? Internet. Go to internet. What is the largest number? What is the largest company in the world? Now, Walmart? No. In terms of the stock market cap, what is the largest business? What is the largest business company in the world? Go to internet. Oh, really? Huh? Go to internet. You can information. I do not request further your wisdom. I want your information. As that. What is the largest company in the world now, 2022? What is the largest company in the world now? Apple? Okay. What is the second largest company? Huh? Google? Oh. Really? Okay, double check. Okay. Okay. Really? What is the largest company in the world? Apple. Okay, second largest. Microsoft. Okay, the third. Oh, Saudi Arabia. Okay, however, around 3 years ago, the second largest company in the world was Snowpack. Okay. Or something like that. Every day, everything is changing. Apple is the largest company. No, Apple has the largest number of employees. No, Apple has a very small number of the people. Oh, how the Apple become the largest company in the world? Walmart? Walmart has tons of thousand people. Everything is changing. And sooner or later, probably it still will be the largest company in the world. And I don't know what Chinese company can be the largest company from. Once the Huawei was the sixth or fifth largest company in the world, that collapsed. If you do make a few number of mistakes, or if you do not do that something. Strategy. Okay, this is a short history of the strategy, business strategy. We never stop. Anyway, so that's nice. So then, we are learning about, we kept a little about the history of the business and management, especially the strategy management. And we are heading to the fundamental question about the management, and we are going into the more detailed strategy management later. However, from the history, we can learn very simple understandings. Business. We never stop learning. American scholars learn the Chinese wisdom, conceptualize this competitive advantage. And Asian business scholars and Asian businesses, we conceptualize this. Now we are heading to the different level of work in the great resignation era, how we can get our hungry people to work. Don't you think this is important? No, it's important. Who is responsible for that? I think we can problem servers because we need those resources in order to revitalize our supply chains. Our global supply chain is at the risk because of the stupid war. Gas prices going up, natural resources prices going up. However, we want to limit our costs. We must be able to reduce the costs. Who is that work? That's our work. It is work. Because we must be able to solve that business problems. Okay, good. Any question? And yeah, from the next class, we are heading to the management and the more detailed, specific strategy. Any questions so far? Oh, we are done. The background knowledge is done, and from this week, okay, so we are heading to the strategy. Okay, any questions so far? So far so good. So far okay. Okay, no homework yet. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, good. So then I will see you on Wednesday.